From the man behind The Twilight Saga, New Moon, and the terrible movie version of The Golden Compass, comes a Blumhouse horror production that is thankfully only 80 minutes long. You won't be afraid, you won't be excited, but you will be comfortable sitting in your Cinemark luxury lounger for, again, only 80 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jake, the Scary Story Guy, and I really wish I had the voice of the Honest Trailers guy. I would definitely have more than 700 subscribers if I did. Hint, hint, please click the button. Studies have actually shown that liking this video and subscribing to this channel can periodically save you anywhere from 80 to 140 minutes, depending on which horrible movie I'm talking about that week. But guys, today we're talking about Afraid, a new horror movie about AI, and you can tell it's about AI because the A and the I in Afraid are in italics. And that's about the level of creativity that's on display throughout this entire movie. I can't lie, this was a pretty tough watch. This isn't the first movie to tackle AI in recent years, of course. Recent developments have made it a fairly evergreen subject for us, but it was definitely the least good of them. Last year we had Megan, the artificial intelligence best friend doll that made Blumhouse $180 million. So in classic movie studio fashion, they said, what if we made that exact movie again, only worse? And thus we have Afraid, a film about a family who goes on a trial run with a new artificial intelligence called Aya, which is basically the world's coolest smart home. That is sort of the overwhelming thought I had while watching this movie, honestly. It's just that this thing would be fucking incredible to own. And so you really can't even feel that bad for the family when things start to go south, because it really seems like the pros still outweigh the cons. You know how sometimes a random piece of technology in your home will just stop working, whether your router, your TV, or whatever, and then you've got to get on some helpline and talk to some Indian dude for like 3 hours to try and get it fixed. With Aya, you never have to do that again. You also never have to pick up your groceries, you never have to figure out your medical bills. Basically all the most boring, mind-numbing you do on a regular basis, it's just gone. So for me, it's like, kill who you want, manipulate me, I don't care, just keep the meal prep boxes coming. Seriously though, there's nothing actually scary that happens in this movie, which is maybe the biggest of the many problems it has. It's called Afraid. That's just a false advertising suit waiting to happen. It's like if Requiem for a Dream was called Lighthearted, or John Wick was called No Gunshot Wounds Here. I honestly don't know if I've ever met a person in my life who would be afraid as a result of watching Afraid. It's odd too, because it doesn't even seem like it's trying to be scary most of the time. There are some moments in the trailer that it's like it's marketed as a horror movie. Like there's a part where the AI says to a little kid, do you want to see what I look like? And then just cut to the kid's horrified face. And that's just not in the movie. Like it doesn't actually appear in the movie, along with several other parts of the trailer. So I'm just wondering, like, what did this movie look like before the studio made cuts to it? It's only 80 minutes long, which is abnormally short for a theatrical release. So it made me feel like there was probably 10 to 20 minutes worth of stuff that got cut, hit the production room floor. I'd love to know what that was. What's the story behind it? Whatever happened, you definitely feel like you're watching something disjointed, like characters will reference something that you feel like, did I see that? There was something maybe that's missing. The editing is not nearly as smooth as what maybe we've come to expect from movies in 2024. There's even, like, halfway through, a major side character just dies horribly, and we don't get a single reference to that the entire rest of the movie. No follow-up, no aftermath. I'd say this is the lowest quality movie of the year, but I can't, because I've also seen that new Ronald Reagan is Literally Jesus movie, and that one's probably worse. But Afraid might have the distinction of being the first movie about AI that feels like it was written by AI. What if that's the whole point? The filmmaker made a shitty movie on purpose just to be like, the real horror is what's gonna happen to movies if computer screenwriters replace real ones. There is one good line. A character gets made fun of for using the word unhoused instead of homeless, which, as he should, so I like that. But the dialogue is pretty lacking here. John Cho, Katherine Waterston, you just feel bad for them. There's nothing they could have done with this. My theory is that Katherine Waterston is actually a secret masochist. She got off on the indignity of appearing in Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, and she's just been chasing that high ever since. I'd say this might have done the trick for her, but the problem is people actually went to see her in the Grindelwald movie. This was, on Sunday night, opening weekend, undoubtedly the emptiest theater I've ever been in. And I've been in totally empty theaters before, too. Something just felt emptier about this one. I don't know. Now, none of this movie is actually good, but the worst part is the ending, because there's some reasonably charming build-up. You kind of like this family. The acting's not bad. You're like, oh, I hope these people are happy. But the final, like, 20 minutes here was, you couldn't predict what was going to happen in the worst way possible. normal. It felt like it was just written by two fourth graders, like, oh, and then a T-Rex shows up, and he's got lasers for eyes. Specifically, there's a part with the girl from Garfunkel and Oates. She's randomly in the movie for like 2 seconds at the beginning, and then she comes back at the end, and what's happening, you feel like you're on pills because there's no sense to be made out of any of it. I want to know what the test screenings were like for this. Did they actually show this film to any humans before they gave it a wide release? Because this just screams straight to streaming. The script feels robotic and generic. The entire back half of the movie makes no sense whatsoever, and I cannot stress this enough. This is the least scary movie ever made. The Ronald Reagan movie was scarier than this. At least the de-aging they did on Dennis Quaid kind of made him look like one of those masks from The Purge. And it's too bad because they actually got some decent actors to do this, just none of the movie making itself was able to follow through. I mean, they even got the king himself, David Dastmalchian, on board. Which I'm aware that it's a sin for me to have reviewed this dog shit movie on my channel but not talked about Late Night with the Devil yet, which rocked. I'll do it now. Save yourself some money, guys. Don't go see Afraid, just stream Late Night with the Devil instead. Or if you're looking for a great AI-themed movie, you could check out The Artifice Girl, a very smart, small-budget thriller that I reviewed last year. I'm gonna give Afraid 1.5 stars out of 5. I'll give it a half star just for that unhoused joke, but guys, this is not good. Don't see it. Okay, as always, stay tuned for more spooky content coming soon. If you're looking for October movie recommendations, I'm your guy. But in the meantime, thank you for watching this video, and here's hoping you survive to see the next one.